Hey everyone, let's get straight to the point. I was looking at the autopsy reports for Chris Burrous, the news anchor, who suddenly died in a hotel room, supposedly, and all this other stuff. I put together a little bit of a timeline and a little bit of a list, and I looked up the investigating officer, because that's what you should always do. You want to look up who was the investigator, who was the detective on the case, and you want to make sure that they have a clean record. You want to make sure that they are an honest person. He did have a record, let's say that. You can see that information at Yusufan versus City of Glendale. And then there's a few other,
He says how it all went down, but we don't know if he's saying it or who the fuck is saying it because they won't reveal who the hell this companion guy is. But the companion guy is like acting like I didn't have any involvement with anything. I didn't smoke meth. I didn't do meth. I mean, Chris put the meth up his own ass.
Many inconsistencies. There is too many inconsistencies, as a matter of fact. And if you guys have not seen that or noticed that already, then I'm trying to bring that to your attention. Anyway, I question authority. I question things that don't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, it surely isn't going to make dollars. You know what I mean? So, Detective Kambankian, he is the one who was on the case. He's the detective who, brought the case to a conclusion. I mean, he was the one who filled out the reports. So this guy's like, you know what? Hey, there ain't no harm sticking fists up asses. But
And I just stuck my fist up his ass. That's all I did. I stuck my fist up his ass.
you know what I'm saying? Fuck it. Let's be real, So this guy's like, oh yeah, I stood there and watched him put meth in his ass. Okay. So let's break it down here. So then at 12:30, in the report, it says that he was already in the room and the companion arrived. So Chris goes from the meeting, which is at noon. He leaves wherever the meeting was supposed to be, KTLA. Maybe he wasn't at KTL, but his coworkers said he was there and he left early. So we have to go with that, right? So he gets to the Days Inn. By this time, 12:30. I mean, it's got to be 12:30.
It's pretty comical because a lot of it is just fucking, I call bullshit on it, you know what I mean? So you got a noon, a lot of shit happened at noon, even before noon. So before noon, they say that he checked into the hotel. Before noon, you know what I mean? So, but at noon he had a meeting, and at noon he was supposed to be at work in a meeting, but he left early. So the fact that, and he talked to his wife at noon, so many things happened at noon, but it says here that he checked into the hotel room before noon, shortly before noon. Okay, now
This means that before noon he checked in, and but he was supposed to be at a meeting. And up here it says, that he, actually on the next page, it says that he went to the meeting. He said he was going to go to, his wife talked to him at noon. She last talked to him at noon, okay? So at noon he talked to her. Before noon he was already checked in the hotel when he talked to her. He was also at the meeting at noon. Looking at the autopsy, and the timeline just doesn't really match up, and we'll explain in detail a little bit further. But first of all, and left early. So
it's either he checked in before noon, or he was at work at noon, or at the meeting at noon. There's no possible way that he could be at the hotel and at the meeting at the same time. It's impossible unless he has a twin. Okay, so let's move forward. So she said that she spoke to him at noon. I believe this is his wife. This is what I'm assuming, because they're talking as though it was, only his wife would really know his history and stuff. And she says that he isn't an addict, she doesn't see him as an addict. And I would believe that. I mean, she is his wife. Come on, guys, He used drugs recreationally, and people out there that do that as well. Don't fucking act like you're perfect, okay?
I don't care how much he loved fist fucking, okay? Okay, so she was not suspicious of him being, an addict. But then, for some reason, it says here that she realized he was missing, and she contacted his employer. Now, what the fuck is going on with that? Now, he said he was going to the meeting. She last spoke to him at noon. He told her he was going. Once she realized he was missing, she contacted his employer. Now, when did she realize he was missing? Was this like later that evening? I don't see. That is weird. That don't make sense. And if you guys want to write that off, go ahead. But you know what? I'm not. I call bullshit. I believe that someone's lying. I'm not saying she's lying, but whoever wrote this report I have to question why would they even, this is bullshit. Why are you going to add some bullshit that don't make sense? We're not stupid, and you guys don't allow them to fucking, fool you. If you can't handle the heat, get out the goddamn kitchen. You know what I mean? But no scene investigation from the coroner. Detective Kambenkian, he gave the coroner a CD with photos from the scene. The scene is described as follows. The room number, 608. Well, Glendale Dazen has 108 rooms, I believe. So I don't know. I mean, 608, 108. Why in the daytime would he have a fucking compact DJ style lighting? It's fucking noon, you guys. It's noon. I mean, those hotel rooms do not have blackout shades. So you're not going to be partying like a rave party at fucking noon, dude. And if you're horny and you want to get fucked in your ass, are you going to be thinking about DJ style lighting? Really? Seriously?
I call bullshit. All of these things. Now,
like, come on, guys. Multiple jars of lubrication. I do believe that because guys do love their lube. But electrical tape. Okay, what the fuck ever, man.
Time is ticking. I mean, the time is ticking. Like, it's past. At this point, I mean, come on. It's past like 2 o'clock by this time. I mean, come on, dude. He stated he did not smoke methamphetamine with the descendant. Why even bring it up? Why would he even say, I never smoked meth with the descendant? Who asked you that, and how the hell did you even come up with that idea? I never smoked it with a methamphetamine with the descendant. What does that mean? Okay, so Blank gave me the following information. It says, so that must be his wife, I'm saying? Like, Maya? I don't know why they crossed it out, because it's... Well, the thing is if she... Because, of course, she would be the one, because if you read the rest, the descendant does not have a history of drug abuse or alcoholism. When told about some of his activities, she stated he possibly only used drugs recreationally. She was not suspicious of him being an addict, nor did he exhibit behavior of being a habitual drug user. Well, we all know that he, by looking at the videos, he probably, he did some snorting, you know what I mean? And, of course, Romero, she said he snorted a lot, right? I don't know if you guys ever seen that, but if you want to know a little bit about that, she's put that right out there. But anyway, okay, but how do we know he snorted, and that is still speculation, but I mean, in my opinion, it does look like a little bit of a, drug use in the past, looking at some videos. But, okay, so she said the descendant went to work today. Doesn't say whether he was at home when he went to work or where he went from. And was supposed to go to a work meeting at noon. He told her he was going. Once she realized he was missing, she contacted his employer and was told by coworkers that he left the meeting, stating he was feeling ill. She thought it was odd that he would skip the meeting, as it was important for his career. Okay, she last spoke to him at noon. Okay, so he goes to the meeting, and we already went over this. She spoke to him at noon. He's supposed to be at the meeting at noon, but he checked in that hotel shortly before noon. Shortly before noon, in a hotel that checks out at noon. The hotel has, the requirement is you check out at noon and you can check in at 3. Now, you can request an early check-in. No. You can request an early check-in. And, another thing, room 608. Well, that hotel has 100 and some rooms, 108 rooms. I don't know. Maybe maybe they have only even number rooms, but still, you wouldn't get 608 out of that. But yeah, maybe they have a 608. It doesn't matter. That's supposed to be the room that's in. Okay. So he checks into the hotel before noon. He goes to the meeting at noon, and he leaves the meeting shortly after noon, of course. And then at 12:30, mind you, it takes. I think I've seen a map on a website showing that it takes about 30 minutes to get from KTLA to that hotel. 30 minutes. So if he left the meeting, I mean, what really happened at noon is what I want to know. I want to know exactly what happened at noon, because all of this, there's too much that could be happening at noon. It just doesn't make sense. Even if it was between noon and 1. Well, he supposedly was pronounced dead at 1, what was it? 2, what, in 12, 1, 2, 3. So it'd be like it would be 2, 12, 206. So 206 is when he was pronounced dead. Oh yeah, pronounced dead. And then at 2:30, he was notified by the hospital personnel to the coroner. Okay, so the evidence in here. Now, it says I collected a filtration mask, which means that it must be the, maybe the coroner and metallic sex toy that arrived at the forensic center with descendants. Arrived to the forensic center, science center with descendants. So that means that he probably still had the mask on. So I don't know how they would do CPR with that mask on, and the metallic sex toy that arrived. Okay, now, that's what the coroner had. Now, Glendale Police Department, mind you, Kambenkian, or whoever it is, the police department, police maybe, I don't know. People are saying that they are corrupt. I don't know. I don't have any information or evidence myself of that, but I do believe, half of what I see and none of what I hear. But I have read some things online that does indicate that there is something, not proper, and there are some things that have to be, questionable with the police department. We know LAPD, and whatever. Well, let's not go there. But so the Glendale Police Department collected drug paraphernalia from the scene. The body exam was performed at Science Center. He's a male, Caucasian. Okay, yeah. Natural teeth. I mean, this guy was in incredible shape, beautiful shape. There was coroner hospital ID tags, and there was a rary tube. I mean, he was in good shape. There was a linear scar under his chin, the small round abrasion on his left forehead. Now, I previously did a video. I posted a video where I had noticed a bruise on his forehead. Okay. And there appeared to be clear residue dried on his torso and left upper leg and residue between his buttocks. So would that be drugs? Cum? What is that? I mean, what kind of residue is that? They said residue, dried residue. Now, when they say clear dried residue, I'm thinking, it's, cum. A knit mask of various sex toys, and were seen scattered around the room. Ooh, around the room. Glass pipes. Oh, how many glass pipes were there? More than one. Pipes with brown residue. Okay, now what was that brown residue? Did they test that brown residue? Bottles, plural, again. How many bottles labeled Amsterdam? Who described it as poppers? Who knew about poppers? And how the fuck did he get poppers? And why the fuck would he have poppers if he didn't do the poppers? Because it wasn't in his system, guys. There was no poppers in his blood system. There were no GHB in his blood system. And who said this was GHB? Who the fuck tested it? Was it tested? I don't see any report of this being tested. I don't see any report of any truth of any of this. A pillow with brown residue. Now, was that the same residue that was in those pipes? Was it shit? Was it puke? What the fuck was it? Test that shit, goddammit. It's a fucking crime scene. Test it.
Find out what it is and get to the bottom of it. He not being exposed to the public. It's bullshit. I call bullshit. Employers. Like, it could be like 1:30, No, it couldn't be 1:30. Couldn't even be 12:30. Well, maybe it could be 12:30 while he was getting banged, okay? So it could be 12:30. Okay, she called the coworkers. Hey, he left. He wasn't feeling very well. Okay, so she thought it was odd that he would have skipped the meeting. It was important for his career. Or maybe it wasn't important for his career. Maybe it was the meeting with the guy. Maybe that was a lie, whatever. But she last spoke to him at noon. But he had checked into the hotel already. And he must have been saying, I'm heading to the meeting. But then they said he left early. Okay, when told briefly about... Okay, well, up here, let's go back up here. When told about some of his activities, she stated he possibly only used drugs recreationally. But, okay, so it says right here, again, when told about some of his activities. So when they told her, hey, does he do drugs or whatever? Okay, yeah, he does drugs recreationally. Then goes on and tells this little story, stating he was ill. She thought it was odd. Okay, she spoke to him last at noon. Then he says again, when told briefly about the descendant's activities, she stated he used to go to clubs in his past, but stated he was not interested in that anymore. She said he did have a history of risk-taking behavior. She also said he lost a significant amount of weight in the last year and was not on any medication. There's no medical history. Now, what wife would say, well, I don't, I'm not suspicious of him having an addiction. He's not, he just does drugs, habitual. Not habitual. He's, just a social, recreational. But then what wife would say, he's lost a lot of amount in weight in the last year? It just, what's really going on here? Who said what? I'm thinking that maybe she said this for sure. Like, I think this was her maybe saying, oh, he's never exhibited any of this behavior. I could see her saying that. And I could see her, saying that. All of this. I believe she's probably said this, okay? But then... whoever. But then he goes on to say, when told briefly about these descendants' activities. Now, this doesn't make sense. When told about some of his activities, and then when told briefly about the descendants' activities. This doesn't make sense. The descendant, when told about some of his activities, when told briefly about descendants' activities, she stated he used to go to clubs in the past. And what are they doing? Like, hey, are you not telling us all about what he does? Or, I mean, do you have any, what type of thing, do you know that he's meeting guys on Grindr? I mean, do you know? But she's like, no, he's not interested in that anymore, but he used to go to clubs. She said he did have a history of risk-taking behavior. Well, what guy doesn't? I mean, what guy doesn't have a risk-taking behavior? I mean, come on. Guys are guys. I mean, they do crazy things like race cars, and, they're risky. Guys are risky. Then he lost a significant amount of weight. Now, that to me sounds like a police officer talking. That to me says, oh, yeah, he's lost a lot of weight, I can tell, yeah. Trying to accuse someone of being a drug addict and trying to, manipulate the whole situation.
Anyway, now this is all from this detective. No, oh God, okay, why is this so fabricated? Why? It just... Think about this, guys. You're going to a hotel, you're gonna fucking meet up with this hot, fucking, sexy date. I don't give a fuck if it's the same sex or not. I mean, come on. Horny is horny, okay? It's, sex is sex, whatever. Whatever you choose to do and whoever you choose to do with. It's your prerogative.
But in the daytime, I mean, how many fucking guys... Just tell me, how many of you guys are thinking about bringing a goddamn fucking DJ light system? At noon. How many of you guys want to bring a speaker? Make sure you got some speaker and some sounds. Seriously? Where's his phone? Is there a phone? Does this guy own a fucking phone? No, they don't even mention a goddamn cell phone. Now, in order to fucking have a speaker there, wouldn't you have your cell phone so you could hook it up Bluetooth or some shit? And how the fuck did he talk to his wife if there's no goddamn cell phone? Seriously. Okay, maybe he left his cell phone in his car because he had so much shit to haul up to the fucking room. How about that? Okay, now, glass pipes. Now, okay, another thing. Someone called 911. How did they call 911? Was it from the hotel phone? Was it from their own phone? I mean, really? Oh, really? I call fucking bullshit, okay? I want all of this shit tested. I want to know, who the fuck this guy is. Who the fuck is this guy? And who the fuck... Prove it that was a Grindr date. But bottom line, this guy must have been Superman because he was at the fucking hotel and at his fucking work. And he was on the phone all at the same time. And he was talking to his wife as he's fucking unloading fucking DJ equipment in the daytime to set up a fucking party in his fucking room. Bullshit, you guys. Come on. This is so ridiculous. If you guys want to fucking just write it off and go, you know what I'm saying? Go get fucked in the ass, because this is not believable. This isn't believable. I'm not going to believe it. And I want to know who the fuck this guy is. I want to know who the fist fucker is, okay? The whole cooperating fist fucker, such a good guy, okay? I want to know who the fuck that is. I want to know why is all be made up. We don't know, but we do have to consider the fact that, remember, 2 days earlier, he did have a bruise on his forehead. Now, in the report, it does show that those marks were seen on his forehead. Right here, and I just want to make a note. Oh, another one thing here. The inhalants, non-detected. Well, methamphetamine in amyl nitrate. Once again, that was on the report. That's not on the results. So, okay, non-detective. None of those things were detected. Okay, so it's like, okay, you got meth, drug, paraphernalia found at the room. Now, there's no suspicion of foul play in the times, and the male companion was cooperative with police. Of course he's going to be cooperative with fucking police. I mean, he doesn't want to fucking get in trouble for whatever he might have done or didn't do, or maybe that just doesn't make sense. Okay, yeah, how many people, just if you cooperate with the police, you're not going to get in trouble, even if you do something. That just doesn't make sense, any of this, okay? Dark residue and GHB were among the drug paraphernalia. Well, later on, mind you, at one, what was it? Here we go, timeline. Companion arrived, okay. Wife last spoke to descendant at noon, yet said that she noticed he was missing, called employer. Work meeting, he left early. Okay, companion arrived at 12:30. So he went from where I just can't I just can't understand. It cannot happen all like this. At 1:55, he was admitted to the hospital. Now, when was that call? When did the call come in? The call came in at the 911 call came in, like, in between that time. Okay. So they were like, whatever you call booty bumping or whatever, from shortly after 12:30 until, until the guy, started looking up hot. What is that for? I mean, he's got a load of shit, he's taken to the room. So think about the timing on this. At 12:30, the unknown, companion shows up to the room, knocks on the door. At 12:30, around 12:30, okay? I mean, Chris has already gotten to the room. He's already left the meeting. How could you do all of this at one? There's no way you could be at those places all at one time. It's just impossible. So then, okay. Anyway, so 12:30, the male comes in, companion. Let's get to it. Okay, let's get to the sex part. Okay, whatever he says. Whatever. He's naked already. The guy claims. He's already naked. Must be fucking sweating his ass off. I mean, he's Superman at this point because he's done a lot. And it's impossible. But anyway, so they get to doing their thing, and the guy says that he had done crystal meth in front of him before, but he had never did it with him. He said he never smoked it, and he never used a mask before. So picture this. Okay, so he's naked. Okay, so this guy's got to get it, catch up to his, get ready, get undressed, whatever. So Chris supposedly hands him a bottle of GHB, and then a syringe, puts the mask on as the guy's sticking his hand up Chris's ass. But Chris had put a rock of methamphetamine up his butt just before that. So it's like, okay, he puts the meth in his ass, hands the guy the bottle of Gatorade, which is not even on the property list, by the way. There's no Gatorade bottle shown on the property list. He puts on a mask as the guy's shoving his hand up his ass. And then he takes the inhalant, the poppers, and he pours it on that fabric on the side of the mask, okay? Like, come on, dude. So he's all imagine this, picture this, and the time is ticking. Time is ticking. Boom, 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 tick, 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 okay? So, boom. Shit happens fast. The guy's like, "Are you okay?" Shoving his hand up his ass. "Are you okay?" Again. "I'm okay. Yeah. Are you okay?" Yeah, I'm okay." Well, then, he grunts.
This is what just... Okay. So, Detective Kimbankian gave me the following information. It says, the investigation into the incident is ongoing and information is subject to change. Well, information can be subject to change, but not the time frame. Not the timelines, because those are... those are already... you can't change the timelines because, you can't get back time. You can't change that. The descendant checked into his room in person alone. He met his male companion through a dating site, Grindr, and set up this meeting. Reportedly, the descendant and his companion had met up for 4 previous times. The companion arrived at the room at 12:30, knocked, and was let in the room by descendant, who was described as being nude. His companion described the room as being set up with lighting. Now, this is odd because this type of... What he's saying here, described as a lubrication and massage bench, the descendant had companion reportedly engaged in various forms of sex, anal sex, oral sex. The descendant then inserted a rock, in his anus and stated it was supposed to make him high. Hey, this is supposed to make me high and loose. So let me do this. The descendant gave his companion a syringe right after, here, I'm going to shove this rock out my ass, okay? Here's this bottle of Gatorade in a syringe of GHB, okay? Of GHB in a bottle of Gatorade. The descendant and his companion continued with their sexual activities, and the descendant then inserted a second rock. Okay, we're going to do this, whatever. What are they doing? Okay, so is he fucking him? Is he licking him? And then he puts another rock in there? I mean, what's the deal? So anyway, whatever. So he puts a second rock of meth in his ass. So he's got 2 rocks of meth up his ass. Now, why wouldn't the companion put that meth up his ass? Why would he put it up his ass? That just doesn't make sense. So if any meth was put up anybody's ass, the companion put it up his ass, okay? Second of all, the companion described inserting his hand into descendant's anus before the descendant decided to put on the mask. So he's like, okay, I'm going to shove my hand in your ass. Now, put that mask on. Or he put the mask on. I'm shoving my hand in his ass and he's putting the mask on. The mask had 2 cloth filters on the side and a rubber portion that completely covered the nose and mouth. So he's like, barely can breathe, but the descendant poured pop.
So he's like, oh shit, oh my god, he's not responsive. I'm going to call overdose hotline, and called. He was advised to call 911. Dumb shit, of course. The companion performed CPR on the bed prior to paramedic arrival. Once paramedics arrived, the descendant was transported to the hospital. He died in the emergency. The descendant's companion was cooperative with police. Oh yeah, what? We're not even going to give your name to the fucking public because you know what? You cooperated with us. Bullshit. He told them he was unaware the descendant was a news anchor. Okay. Bottom line, it doesn't matter. He's a fucking person. He reportedly met the descendant 6 months ago on Grindr. A great site to meet your fucking predators and your pedophiles and your fucking murderers, you know. That's the perfect site for that. And even if you didn't meet him on there, that's a perfect way to, toss this all away as some, like, accidental overdose, you know. Anybody who would want someone dead, this is what they would do. They would pull this shit here, making it look like this. Because people don't want to see this, they don't want to hear this, it's so much information, and everyone's like, oh my god, we all wanted to know why he died, how he died, but once we find out, it's just too much information, and I believe that was intentional. Now here we go. It's gonna, what was this last, was this the same? Okay, so you go here. Now we go down here. Okay, so we just went through all that. Now we go to the next page. The descendant had consumed crystal meth in front of him during their past encounters, but had never used the mask before. Okay, well, that's a new thing. Hey, Chris, yeah. Mind you, the firm. I'm just calling it like I'm seeing it. It just doesn't make sense to me. So, subscribe. I won't be putting all this kind of stuff up there in the future. I'm more into a whole different type of video uploading. But, this right now is an issue at hand that I'm glad that I'm, able to just post this for you guys, and maybe you can look into it, and, let's find out, let's kind of, figure out what's going on here. Instead of jumping to the conclusions and believing everything, you can't always believe everything you hear or what you see. You believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. That's what it is. Okay? So, thank you, and hey, I'll see you in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe.